My dearest Travelista, come on in here, honey. You know, I always save a seat for you guys. Come on in here. It's time to talk. I am your host, Tyra Andre. Welcome to the podcast. So, in today's episode, we are going to talk about getting over your first time jitters when it comes to traveling, whether you're traveling solo as a single woman or you're traveling solo as a mom. Okay. So let's go way back to when I took my very first trip with my daughter. So our very first trip, it was pretty interesting. Our very first trip, it was a trip to California, and what had happened was I pretty much got sick and tired of everybody and their mom wanting to go on vacation with me until it was time to pay. It was the most annoying thing ever. So I finally took that leap and I booked my daughter and I a cruise out of California. So we showed up in California a few days early. We took a tour of California. We saw so many beautiful sights in California. And then after that tour, we had the tour bus drop us off at the airport. And then Carnival, they came to pick us up from the airport to take us to the port. Crazy thing, traffic in California was horrible. And guess what? We wound up getting to the port 2 hours late, about 2 hours late, after the ship was supposed to embark, leave the port at 4 o'clock. And we didn't get there until like close to 6 o'clock. But guess what? Since we booked transportation with Carnival, they waited on us. And so that would have been horrifying as a single parent if I missed my first trip. So I will offer that if you're traveling for the first time ever and you are booking a cruise and you have to go from the airport to the port, I do recommend always booking with whoever the ship is, whether it's Carnival, Royal, Norwegian, it doesn't matter. Book their transportation because they're gonna wait on you. So that's my first piece of advice. Always book with the company that you're going to be traveling with. So if it's Carnival, go ahead and book Carnival's transportation because they're going to wait for you. And that's, less anxiety when it comes to that. Another piece of advice that I will offer you is if it's your very first time, you don't have to go clear across the world. Go somewhere right in your backyard. You live in the US, find somewhere that you want to go in the US and take a weekend trip. Take a weekend trip. Take a 30, 40-minute hour flight with your baby or babies, or even by yourself, and see how it feels. See how your first flight is. See how, how is your nerves? How is it, is anything, bothering you? And then from there, you can figure out the next step with the longer flight and how you will handle it or how your baby will handle the flight. When it comes to babies and traveling, when my daughter was younger, there's some earmuffs. They have soundproof earmuffs. I would recommend getting some soundproof earmuffs for your baby or your child if it's their very first time flying, because that just puts them in a kind of a quiet zone. Like airplanes sometimes can be very noisy and you don't want the kid to be, jumping around and, kind of scared or nervous for the first time. So I would recommend getting some soundproof headphones for them. When it comes to moms traveling for the first time, I know it can be so scary, so very scary. You're so worried about what could happen, what's going to happen. Listen, nine times out of 10, nothing is going to happen. You just have to take that leap and go. The trip, it's going to change your life. It's going to completely change your life. You take that one small trip and then eventually, it's going to turn into a bigger trip, especially if you want to travel the world. If you want to travel the world, listen, it takes one small trip to completely change your perspective when it comes to traveling. And hey, guess what? If you don't like to fly, rent a car and take that road trip. Take the road trip, pack the kids in the car and just go. If you're taking a road trip, I would recommend, getting your child some activity books to do, or, if you allow your child to have a tablet or, cell phone, download some educational apps on the phone for them and let them play on the apps. Let them play on the apps and, that will solve a lot of things. If you don't want to do the apps on the phone, get some CDs or download some music to your phone to listen to. Download some a children's music podcast or something for them to listen to. If it's just you traveling alone, listen, download a podcast, turn on that YouTube video or that whatever it is that you've been wanting to listen to for a long time, and drive your heart out until you get there. So if it was me, I recommend driving early in the morning so that, by the time you get to your destination, it's still daylight. You don't have to worry about anything crazy. So I would recommend traveling in the morning. I mean, you may be a night owl if you want to, of course, go ahead and travel at night. But me, I just like to do things different. So that's that. If you're taking a road trip, pack the snacks, you have to prepare for stuff like this. Pack the snacks, plan for any emergencies. If the car is going to break down, who are you going to call? Do you have AAA? Do you have roadside assistance? That's if you're driving. If you're driving, plan for everything. Plan for what could happen. Okay. And so you're going to be doing that until you finally get everything down packed. So just plan on, what could happen. And if it does happen, then, prepare for it. Pack extra clothing, pack some extra food, pack, extra undies for your kid or your toddler, or you never know, what could happen. Accidents happen while you're out there on the road when it comes to potty accidents. So just, pack a little bit extra. So I would recommend that. Hey, if you don't like driving, guess what? They got the train. You guys, it's been a few years since I've been on Amtrak, but the last time I've been on Amtrak, it was completely clean. They had a food cart that was on there. No problems at all. And I would definitely do it again. They have this one Amtrak trip, and it just travels all around the world. Like it's a complete 360. You can see not all of the states, but you can see a lot of different states in one ride. So if you guys don't like flying and you don't like driving, I would recommend jump on Amtrak flights. The prices for Amtrak are pretty decent. So I would recommend doing that. That's another option. So let's hop back over to flights. So for flights, if it's the first time that you're traveling alone, if it's the first time that you're traveling alone with your kids, I would recommend catching a red-eye flight. And so many of you guys already know red-eye flight just means that, you're going to be traveling from one destination to the other. And when you get to the other destination, it's going to be, the very next day. So I would recommend doing that. If you know that your kids are heavy sleepers, hey, catch that flight at night. Trust me, they're going to be asleep. So and that will put you at peace too. Both of you guys can be sleeping on the flight. And so when your flight gets there, make sure that you have your transportation already set up so that you don't have to worry about transportation as far as, Ubers or Lyfts. And I know that those are safe too, but it's way more comfortable knowing that you have your transportation provider already there ready to pick you up. So I would say that strollers, if you have a child and they are still riding in a stroller, I would recommend finding they're still riding in a stroller and then they still have to have a car seat. What I would recommend is finding an umbrella stroller that you can fit the car seat inside of. And I know it sounds crazy, but it works, you guys, it works. So when my daughter was, less than 3-4 years old, we used to have a stroller and it was called Summer 3D Light. And so inside of that Summer 3D Light, I was able to fit her whole car seat, regular car seat, that, her big kid car seat. I was able to just simply sit that inside of the stroller. And then I would use the buckle straps. It's a strap that you can buy from Amazon, Walmart. You can buy from everywhere, but it's like a huge buckle and it's about this big and you just clamp it. And so I sent it through the back of the car seat and I strapped it to the back of the stroller. And guess what? Now I have a stroller and I have her car seat. And then when it's time to board, I still have her car seat for the airplane, and her stroller will get gate checked. So when you're traveling to different places, you don't necessarily want to have your child, without a car seat. Or if you don't want to bring that car seat, There's plenty of places where you can actually rent a car seat. But when it comes to the safety of the car seats, how old the car seats are, they're expired, you don't really know. So I would highly recommend bringing your own car seat and your own stroller when it comes to traveling with your babies. For the flight, hey, same thing as the car ride. If you allow your kids to use electronics, download some movies, download their favorite movie, download some activities or some apps onto there so to keep them occupied. And then guess what? The same thing for you. If you're a single woman traveling, or if you're a mom that's going to be traveling solo with her children, guess what? You need some entertainment too. Bring your favorite book. Bring your favorite book. Download your favorite podcast. Download your favorite book onto your phone, or if you're using a tablet, download your apps. Download some stuff for you to do too. So how long the flights are, it varies depending on how far you're trying to go, but do some things, put some things on your electronics to make it fun for you as well. Okay. So that's that. Pack some snacks, just like you would for a car ride. Pack some snacks for the airplane. Do you guys know how much them snacks are on the airplane? They're ridiculous. Like, it's not only on the airplane, inside the airport. That stuff is absolutely overpriced. So what I would recommend is packing some snacks. Have a snack bag and pack a whole snack bag that's going to carry you guys from the airport ride all the way to your hotel. And don't forget about the ride back, the flight back or the ride back. Pack some extra snacks so that you don't have to necessarily go to the store to get more snacks. You already have them. Okay, so do that. And then another thing that I would recommend doing before you get to the airport is stop by your airport, or your car ride or your Amtrak ride. I would recommend stopping by your fast food place and get some food, the same food that you probably would buy in the airport. If it's Chick-fil-A, stop by Chick-fil-A. If it's Wendy's, stop by Wendy's, McDonald's, Burger King, and get some chicken nuggets and French fries, or chicken nuggets and apple dippers, or whatever it is. Get that before you get to the airport, because that food is, oh my gosh, that food is so expensive for no reason. I guess it's expensive out of convenience. So I would recommend doing that. So on your way to the airport, on the way to the bus station, Amtrak, wherever you're traveling, stop by and get something to eat, and get enough that's going to last the airplane ride. Get enough that's going to last the whole trip until you comfortably get to your the place that you're going to be staying at. When it comes to liquids, many of you guys know that TSA has certain requirements on liquids, so you don't really want to bring any liquids on through security. But I have a trick. There's a trick to this. The night before, what you're going to do, get some water bottles, whatever your favorite water bottles is. And this trick is only if you're flying. The trick is to get some water bottles, and then just fill them with your favorite water. If it's flavored water, whatever it is, go ahead and freeze that. If you freeze it, guess what? You can take it with you. So when you get to TSA, turn the thing upside down. If there's no water shaking, if it's a little water shaking, hey, drink the water. Drink whatever it is that's in there. It can't be slushy. If it's slushy, they're not going to let you through. If it's solid ice, they'll let you through. And I do it all the time. Like, I take a big thing of water for me and a big thing of water for my daughter. Take it with you, because guess what? That water at the airport, I mean, it's okay. It comes in a little filtered water fountain looking thing, but I wouldn't drink it. I wouldn't drink it at all. I'll go to one of the restaurants and then ask them for a cup of ice, and then ask them for a bottle of water or something like that. So that will save a lot of time. And then also, I've heard stories about the water on the airplanes. Don't drink it. That's just what I've heard. So Google it. I don't know, but the stories. Okay, so that's that. So liquids. If you're going to take, if you want something to drink for your kids, put it in something that's clear so that TSA can see it, and freeze it. So not necessarily just water. Freeze them some apple juice or whatever the juice is that your kids like to drink. Freeze it. If it's solid, you can take it through. Okay. So that should definitely help you get over your first time jitters when it comes to flying, or even traveling in general. Let's see. We went over the ice. Yes, you need ice. Pack your snacks. Plan everything in advance. You don't want surprises. So if you know that you're going to be at a location for a few days, sit down and just go day by day what you want to do within that day. Try to kind of sort of plan it out so that when you get there, you already know what you're going to do. You're not nervous, about what's going to happen for the day. You already know what's going to happen for the day. And what I will also recommend is if you're at a resort, hey, listen, those people there, they're your friends, at the resort. Ask them what areas to avoid when you're going places. What are the local scams? Ask them stuff like that. They'll be happy to answer those questions for you. So you guys already know how to reach me. If you have any additional questions on how to get over your first time jitters when it comes to flying, when it comes to your road trip, or even when it comes to catching the bus or an Amtrak for your very first trip as a solo woman or as a single mom traveling solo with her babies. You guys already know if you want information, just simply text me 813-GO1-FLY2. That's 813-461-3592. You guys can email me at info@mommyandwetravels. I'm always willing to give you guys whatever advice that I have, whatever expertise that I've learned throughout the years. I'm always willing to give that to you guys. Until our next podcast, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.